Welcome back to the shop. If you're new here, I am the convicted Christian. I am 7 years clean and sober. I did almost 10 years in prison. And now I am free and off parole, all thanks to God's love for me. At least that's what I believe. If you're a returning viewer, you know that it is What I Learned Wednesday. And this is where I talk about the video that I made for Monday, Life Story Monday. And I go over the things that I learned and how it has helped me to stay sober, stay clean, stay out of prison. This week, Monday, I was talking about my time after rehab and meeting my wife. Well, there's actually quite a bit that I didn't necessarily learn, but I incorporated from what I had learned previously. And a lot of that made much more sense after I met my wife. This is when I really start taking true accountability and responsibility for my life. In the past, prior to this, I really couldn't hold down a job. Not because I couldn't do the work, but because I didn't want to do the job. I didn't want to. It was boring, and I don't do well with boring. My own failings. And this, how do I phrase it? And this time in my life, doing the right thing felt much more natural. It felt like I was doing the right thing, that I was actually on a path that was going to lead me to more happiness and more joy and just overall a better life. For me, the people around me, the people that love me. And I think this was the turning point for my life. That yes, I was making the changes, before this. I was learning the things I needed to learn. But now it was time to implement it. And some of the things I learned were not the most enjoyable. I learned how much it sucks to hold down a job if you're someone like me who's highly creative. All you want to do is create things and use your talents to make money, which I still haven't done. But learning what I learned previous, I knew that even though I may not like having to hold down a job or keep all my affairs straight, it's what I needed to do. It's what was necessary of me. Because if I didn't do that, who knows where I'd be? Who knows what I would become? And that, honestly, scared the bejesus out of me. Not knowing where you're going, what you're doing, how you're going to get there, if you're going to succeed, if you're not going to succeed. And holding down a job, staying clean, staying sober, that gave me one more day. That gave me another chance to continue making it better. And day after day it built. And day after day, certain decisions got easier. Certain choices didn't feel as much of a... burden's the wrong word. As much of a conscious choice as it was a just involuntary one. And that little bit of learning was very much a reassurance that I was on the right path, that I was going down the right road. and also learning how to be a good son to my parents. learning how to take their instruction and learn from their mistakes so that I didn't make the same ones. It blows my mind that up to this point I had spent 29 years of my life without even considering it as a possibility. That I didn't have to go back to prison or go back to using. And this time, I was actually doing it. I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't making grandiose plans and falling away from those plans. I was actually doing the work and finding enjoyment in it. Finding peace in the boredom. Because it is kind of boring to not go out and have the same type of fun that you used to have. It's a little boring. And that's just kind of how life is. Sometimes it's just boring. And I didn't know that in that boredom, in that time of silence of action and solitude of mind and spirit, so many other things can be happening that help center you and help keep you very much on a straight and narrow. So I guess when I really think about it, what I learned at this time was that I could be at peace with myself as well as others in my life. Even if I agreed with them, even if we had different political stances, peace was what I really needed. Now, when I met my wife, boy, did I learn a lot. Funny story. My wife actually ended up driving way outside of the zone that she was allowed to drive because of work. Because we had to have a very important conversation. And the conversation and how it would go depended on if we continued our relationship or not. And what I learned in that conversation is that when you're truly in love, you are so willing to let go and look past poor choices, bad mistakes. And I never knew that love before. I didn't even know it existed. And now I had it. I was struck by that bug. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that was going to take it away from me. No matter poor choices, no matter what the case may be. I learned what it was like to love another person. Like, I've always loved my parents, and in a way I love my wife, my first wife. But with my family, it's familial, and with my ex-wife, it was almost more of a friendship type of love. It wasn't this overarching, just can't get enough. love that I feel for this woman. I didn't know that it was possible to have someone come into your life and flip it upside down so radically that you don't even really recognize yourself anymore. I would never take that away either. Everything that me and my wife have been through, everything that me and my wife had chosen, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I can't imagine not having that love. If it ever got taken away from me, it would extinguish something. And I don't even know if I'd ever want it to be relit. And so the biggest thing that I learned in this time of my life is that as much as it's okay to love yourself and take care of yourself, letting yourself love others in a way that doesn't reciprocate, that doesn't require anything, has no conditions. For me as a man, it brought out the parts of me that I never thought were there. I'd heard about them, but I didn't even know if they were real. I found out that they were. All thanks to the love I have for my wife. I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. If you guys are struggling and you don't want to reach out to me, just reach out to somebody. You may not believe it, you may not think it, but there's plenty of people that love you. There's plenty of people in your life that only want to see you succeed. Just reach out to them. I myself am struggling because there's someone in my life that's struggling. And I've reached out to them. I've got nothing in return. And it kills me that that's happening. Because there's nothing I can do until they reach out. And then we can find the solution from there. So if you're struggling, if you're going through something, I don't know your story, I don't know what you're struggling with, but if you've got anyone in your life, I can almost guarantee you, they are silently begging you to reach out. Because that's the first step to finding what you need to get past what you're going through. You can do it on your own. But it's a whole heck of a lot harder. And I don't think these people in your life want that for you. They want to help you through it. And they want to help you get to where you need to be. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for listening. If you think this is going to help anybody, please, share the video. Share the link, whatever, you think is going to help them. I kind of wish I had videos like this when I was going through some stuff. And maybe that's partly why I'm making these. But knowing that there are, as the last time I checked, 69 people that watch my videos, I really hope that you're finding some solace and the help that you need or someone you know needs. And I appreciate every comment. and every view and everything you guys are showing to me and accepting me as a content creator. Thank you. Remember, if we're going to change the world, we got to love others so we can change ourselves. Have a good night, and I will see you Friday.